Namaskaram, Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 11th sloka. Now Lord Krishna started advising Arjuna. So now his turn. In this sloka, in the 11th sloka, he says, why are you mourning? What is the reason for your grief? And you are grieving for the people who are not worth of it. They are not worthy. And you think you are speaking like wise men, but it is not so. Because wise people, they never lament for dead or for living people. That is, they don't get attached to any bodily related issues. So they do not feel sad or happy about anything. But you think you are speaking the words of wisdom, but it is not so. And Arjuna is now covered by only the attachment towards the body, which is not eternal, which is perishable. So he is not in a position to understand that. So he says body is different. And what is driving the body is different. What is driving body? It is only Atma. So you should know Atma always lives. There is no death and birth for Atma. So there is a saying in Tamil, Aandaanda kaalam aludhu purandalum maandar meendum elundu varuvaro. That is, the dead ones will not come alive, even if you keep crying. So that is the reality. That is, you have the truth. We should accept that. And the wise people know about it, so they accept. Or they accept. This is what going to happen, this will happen. So, nothing bothers them. They are not perturbed by anything. They are not getting upset by anything. So, now Lord Krishna started teaching Arjuna about what is body, what is Atma. So this is not only to Arjuna, this is for us also, because we come across lot of issues and lot of attachment towards materials and our body. So, and we get upset if we don't get it, and we celebrate it when we get it. So that should not be there. That is why we get into happiness and distress. So if we don't get it, we get disappointed. And we go to frustration. So all these things follow that. Now, Lord Krishna says no. Treat everything or ignore, both ignore happiness as well as distress. So this is what we learn in the following slokas. So in 12th sloka he says, we always live. We are all living throughout. You are there, I am there, even the kings who are all assembled here, they are also there. Now, no one is going to be non-existence. Everyone is going to be there. By what? By Atma. This is what explained by Lord Krishna. So, Lord Krishna says, we have gone through many ages, many births. And the Atma takes the next birth as soon as this body becomes dead. Once the body stops functioning, then the Atma goes to the next body. So the body may be different, maybe of animals or even worms or birds or human being, anything. So that depends on the fruits of the karmas, the effects of what are the karmas we do. So how you can choose the karmas which are to be done and which are not to be done. So he explains that also in Karma Yoga. So he explains that how you take the good birth. That is, at one point of time we should be free from the cycle of birth and death. How can it happen? So that is what taught by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So how we are responsible for our karmas. So, and how the Atma, once this body dies, Atma goes to the next body. So how the body is chosen, it is based on the karmas, what I have done, not only in this birth, in my previous births also. So there is Purvasana, Karma Vasanai, the effect of karmas. So we have to be alert about the karmas, what karmas to be done and what should not be done. That is also explained by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So we should understand what is Atma. That is a basic lesson for us. That is a fact, that is a truth. So we should know about it. And Atma, how Atma is getting connected to what the karmas we do. We give more of attachment to all things. So here Arjuna, why he refused to fight? He has forgotten that Atma is different and body is different. So he is putting everything on Atma. That is, he is binding the Atma with his karmas. That should not be there. So that is what Krishna says. Atma is different and don't bind your Atma with all your karmas, because your body satisfies all your sense organs, all your sensations. So don't put everything into Atma, don't connect it with Atma. But when we do that, the Atma takes different births. Once this body is, when it dies. So this is how our journey continues. The Atma continues its journey. Why we remain? Some of us are very good and some of us are with a sattvic mind and some of us with the rajas and tamas guna. Why people are different in their gunas? That is because of the karmas we do in this birth and the previous births. So that we are undergoing that, the effect of karma. So we take different forms, different body. The Atma takes different body based on that, depending on that. That is why we are advised to do only good actions. For that we should know what is Atma and what is body. We are not body, we are Atmas. So everyone is Atma and God has created. There are three entities: God, soul and Maya. And God is eternal. So we are also eternal. Self is really the soul, not the material body. And it is eternal. So this is the truth we should learn. We should understand. Only then we can follow Bhagavad Gita. The next sloka, he says, the soul does not undergo any change. Only the body undergoes the changes. And Nammalvar explains in one of the Pasurams, in Tamil, Poginra Kalangal, Poya Kalangal, Pogu Kalangal, Thai Tandayur Agindrai, Unnai Nan Adenden Viduveno. So we know what is happening now and what all happened in the past and what is going to happen in the future. That is, in our previous birth we don't know. And what will happen the next birth we don't know. We know only this birth. Whereas God knows everything about us. What we were in the earlier births, what did we do in the earlier birth, and what will be our next birth and what we'll be doing in the next birth also. So takes surrender. Go, surrender to Him. And He will be with you. And He is the only one. The body undergoes different changes. Body becomes, that is, we grow from young, the baby, newborn baby, toddler and a child, and we go to a young man or woman, then we become senior citizens, and at one point of time we die. So the body undergoes different changes, but the Atma doesn't change. There's no change happening for Atma. And wise people know about all this. We only do not know that. That is why we give so much of importance to our bodily related issues. Whether we give all of, no, if any issue with problem arises in our body, we immediately give more importance to that. There is a transmigration within us. That is, medically, we find some tissues or some cells, they die and new cells come up. So this is happening. But though there are changes in the body, in the same birth, but the same personality exists. That is because there is a spiritual soul within us. Only that is making the body function. So there is nothing happens to that. It is there. Only the body undergoes the changes, and soul takes a new body when this body dies. So even in the same day, we change it to different gunas. That is, when we are sattvic, we remain good. When we are with the rajas and tamas guna, we don't act as a good person. So, and we feel happy and we feel distressed. So we get different moods, different emotions. But nothing happens to Atma. Atma is always happy. So all these changes we get only get through our sense organs. So only our body experiences all that. We should understand this. So how our desires also change. When you are a boy or a small child, when you get a toy from your father, you get, or parents, you feel so happy. If the same toy is given to you when you are grown up, you don't feel. And you may be harsh also to them, because I don't like this. You say in a different tone. So what happens? The person who gives you becomes upset. Even that should not be there, because you are expecting something. So with the changes, so there are changes in everything, our gunas and our attitudes. So that should not be. So all this you feel only in the body. So the Atma is not affected by all this. There is no change for Atma. It remains the same. But we are binding all these emotions with Atma. That is a mistake we do. So Lord Krishna says, no, don't do that. So you should know what is Atma and what is body. So that is the first lesson to understand. That is what Krishna is starting with, Atma Jnana. So how we should control our emotions. And we should know what is good and what is not good. So accordingly we should do the karmas. How we are carried away by the temptations. So from where do we get the temptations? Only through the sense organs. How you are connecting your intellect with your gunas. So if the intellect is connected with rajas and tamas, the action will be bad, the thinking will be bad. So the intellect to be connected with devotion, faith in God, then you realize Atma. So that these are the teachings by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So he has started now how to realize Atma. Paramatma lives in every Jivatma. Paramatma is made up of, you are all tiny parts of God. So we are also divine. We should understand that God is divine, He is eternal, and we are also eternal, because He is a Sarvavyapi. So He is in everything. So this is the fact we should know. So once we realize Atma, we will know Paramatma too. So we will be conscious of what we are doing, because we are in consciousness of God. So we do only good karma. So naturally we will not get into any pava or punya, both. And the next sloka. The next sloka we find how the five senses are destroying one. That is, when we get attached to all these five senses, we become slave to them. For example, when we stay in AC in air conditioned room during summer we like it. We prefer that. Whereas in winter, we don't like the same AC. We don't want to be. We want to switch off that AC because we don't like it. So how our desires change, then how our needs change, and how our moods change. So the importance also we change. The same material, but we don't want it in winter. If we permit ourselves to be affected by the sense organs, we will be like a pendulum in a clock. So the pendulum it keeps moving from side to side. The same condition happens to us. We are in the same condition. Our mind is not calm because we are enslaved to the sense organs. So a person of discrimination should practice to tolerate happiness and distress. When we get something, we say we are very happy. When we don't get that, we say no, I am distressed. So God says no, don't have such kind of feeling. You should not get upset even if you don't get anything. So the reason is we are attached to that particular thing. It may be person or to maybe the material. So that is what God advises, not to get attached. You need not be sannyasi. You can be leading a normal life, but you can remain unattached to all this. When you remain unattached, there will not be craving for getting things. When you crave for things but you don't get it, you end up with disappointment. So you become distressed. So that disturbs you. So here Arjuna is disturbed by that. So he is not able to move forward. He is not taking up his weapons and he is not going for fighting. Same thing happens to us in our life. We go for some appreciation. For example, if people appreciate our singing or dancing, whatever it is, then we become so happy. But if we don't get that appreciation, the next day itself, we become upset. So this is happening to everyone, and all of us come across this, and all of us undergo this happiness and distress. So let us not give importance to happiness and distress. That is, okay, whatever comes to us, you accept it as a gift of God and don't get attached to it. That is what taught in Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavan says that you can remain unattached to all this. So everything depends on how you take the life. There should not be ahankara or mamakara in your mind. Don't have egoism. And in intellect, you surrender your body, mind and intellect to God and connect God with all this. Then you will not give importance to happiness and distress. And in the 15th sloka, he says, one who is not affected by happiness and distress remains steady. Sannyasis, those who are doing tapas in Himalayas, they don't even get even the basic things, but they remain. They always have a smiling face. They continue their life. They continue the routine. How come they are able to do that? Because they are not affected by happiness and distress. Only they are eligible for liberation. So why do God asks two questions. Why do we aspire for happiness? Why does not material happiness satisfy us? We have materials, we have money, we have car, we have house, but still we are not contented and we don't remain happy. Why? Because we want more and more and we compare ourselves with others. So naturally there is no end for our desires. So that makes us unhappy. That is what God says, don't get attached to all that. And why do you say I want only happiness? Let us go through all and treat everything as happiness. So eat everything. So that also depends on our determination only. So how you understand your Atma. And we souls are tiny parts of God. And if you understand this only, you find the answer for why do we aspire for happiness, and why does not material happiness satisfy us. You get the answer for all this when you understand this fundamental. So we are all divine like God, as we are parts of God. So Sat, Chit and Anand. So that is the truth. So we should, when you understand that, you will have that permanent happiness. So we shouldn't say that I am sad. When you attach I with everything, that is not recommended by God. Instead, you say there is sadness. So if you practice that, you will not have any kind of attachment. You will not be upset. You will not sit like Arjuna. Arjuna is now covered by delusion, grief. Those two are the reasons for his condition now. So that's why he sits on the chariot and says, no, I am not going to fight. So there is one more pasuram in which Nammalvar says, Kanda Inbam Tunbam Kalakangalam Tetramamai Tandamam Tanmayum Thalalum Neyalamai. That means when you experience happiness, when you experience sorrow, and when we are disturbed, or when you are not having peace of mind, you approach God. He gives you, makes your mind clear. So there will be clarity in your mind. There will not be any disturbance in your mind. So only Bhagavan is the destination for us to get the clear mind. So he explains that in his Pasuram. So if we follow all this, naturally our life will be peaceful. So let us understand what is Atma Jnana and follow all these teachings by Lord Krishna.